Welcome back. Today it's boundaries, the punctuation questions, where every answer choice is just a comma, a period, a semicolon, or a colon. Students pick by what sounds right or where they would pause for breath. That's the trap. Punctuation follows rules, not feelings. I run the same 3 checks every time, and we'll mark up 5 together, from an easy warm-up to 2 that fool almost everyone. Here's the whole method. Check 1. Split and test each side. Cover the punctuation and ask 2 questions. Is the left side a complete sentence, and is the right side a complete sentence? Label each one. Check 2. Match the mark to the combo. 2 complete sentences need a hard stop, a period or a semicolon, or a colon if the second explains the first. Anything touching a fragment takes a comma or no mark, never a period or a semicolon. Check 3. Cut what breaks the rule. Strike every comma splice, every semicolon or colon stuck to a fragment, and every half-closed phrase. Question 1, our warm-up. Check 1. Split and test each side. Cover the blank. On the left, the Sahara Desert was not always a sea of sand. That stands on its own, a complete sentence. On the right, thousands of years ago, it held vast lakes, rivers, and grasslands. That also stands alone, another complete sentence. So we have sentence plus sentence. Check 2 says that combo needs a hard stop. Now match the choices, puts a comma between the 2 sentences. That's a comma splice, the classic error. Set it aside. C uses no punctuation at all, so the 2 sentences just run together. Rule that out. D adds a comma and then a second comma, but piling on commas still can't join 2 sentences. Cross it off. B ends the first sentence with a period and capitalizes the next, a clean hard stop between 2 complete sentences. B is right. B wins because 2 complete sentences demand a full stop, and the period delivers it. Every trap tried to get away with a comma, and a comma can never hold 2 whole sentences together. Question 2. Look at what sits between the dashes. A salamander that never fully grows up. That's extra information dropped into the middle of the sentence, and it opened with a dash. Here is the boundary rule for an inserted phrase. Whatever mark opens it must close it. It opened with a dash, so the blank has to be a dash too. Predict that before you even read the options. To the choices. B closes the phrase with a comma, but you can't open with a dash and close with a comma. The marks have to match. Toss it. C uses nothing, so the interruption never closes and the phrase bleeds into the rest of the sentence. Off it goes. D drops in a semicolon, but what follows, can regrow lost limbs, is not a complete sentence, so a semicolon is illegal here. Strike it. A closes with a dash, matching the one that opened the phrase. A is the answer. A is right because a non-essential phrase needs a matching pair around it, dash to dash. The comma looked tempting, but mixing the 2 marks breaks the pair. Question 3. Check 2 leads here, but it starts with the split. On the left, because the telescope's main mirror had been ground to the wrong shape. Notice the word, because that clause cannot stand alone, so it's a fragment. On the right, its first images came back faint and blurry. That's a complete sentence. So the combo is fragment plus sentence, and an introductory fragment like this gets a comma. Predict a comma. Now the choices. A uses a semicolon, but a semicolon demands a complete sentence on both sides, and the because clause is a fragment. Scratch it. B uses no punctuation, leaving the introductory clause with no boundary at all. Drop it. C tries a colon, but a colon also needs a full sentence in front of it, and because the mirror was ground wrong is not complete. Knock it out. D uses a comma, exactly what an introductory clause calls for. D holds. D is right because a clause starting with because is a fragment, and an introductory fragment takes a comma. The semicolon and the colon failed the same test. No complete sentence on the left. Question 4. Harder. Split it. On the left, the unfamiliar recipe called for 3 ingredients she had never cooked with. That's a complete sentence. On the right, saffron threads, fresh tamarind, and dried rose petals. That's a list, not a sentence, so it's a fragment. A full sentence on the left, a list it sets up on the right. That specific combo points to 1 mark. Predict a colon. Check the choices. A use is a single comma, but with the list's own internal commas. One more comma just blurs where the list even begins. Cut it. B uses a semicolon, which has to be followed by a complete sentence, and a string of ingredients is not a sentence. Push it aside. D uses no punctuation, so the sentence crashes straight into the list. Away it goes. C uses a colon, a complete sentence, then the list it introduces. C is it. C is right because a colon introduces a list, but only when a full sentence comes first, and here it does. The trap is reaching for a comma out of pure habit. Question 5, the hardest, and this is where check 3 earns its keep. Split first. On the left, the young pianist had rehearsed the difficult concerto for months, complete. On the right, on the night of the performance, her hands still trembled with nerves, also complete. 2 sentences. Now the trap. A semicolon and a colon both follow a complete sentence, so which one belongs? Ask whether the second part delivers on the first or fights it. Look closely. B is a colon, and a colon promises a payoff. The first clause should set up the second. But here the second clause contrasts. Months of practice, and yet her hands still shake. No setup, no payoff, so the colon is wrong. Leave it. C is a comma between 2 full sentences, a comma splice. Strike that one. D runs them together with nothing at all. That one's out. A is a semicolon, joining 2 complete, closely related sentences that pull against each other. A takes it. A is right because a semicolon links 2 related sentences as equals, and the contrast here is exactly that, equal, not setup and payoff. B was the nastiest trap. The colon looks identical until you ask whether the second half pays off the first. It doesn't. That's the method. Split the sentence and test each side, match the mark to the combo, then cut whatever breaks the rule. 10 fresh boundaries questions are waiting in the printable practice test. The link is pinned in the comments. Work them cold and decide every mark by the rule, not the sound. See you in the next one.